Well, hello, everyone. We appreciate you taking some time to watch this portion of the concert as well. My name is Rick Granlund, and I'm Director of Bands in Indianapolis at North Central High School, and I'm currently the President of Indiana Bandmasters, and we're really fortunate to have the composer of our next piece and our commission piece, Mr. Kevin Day, with us. Kevin is coming to us from Georgia, so welcome to Indiana via our YouTube event, and thanks for being with us.
Yes, sir. It's an honor to be here.
Great. And so we just wanted to take a minute and talk to you a little bit about just your background and the Peace Summit. And I'm sure some of the parents know, but some of our people watching aren't aware, but you were actually able to zoom in and talk to the students
Yes.
On their sectional day. And that was a lot of fun, and we really appreciated that. But I wanted to give everybody a chance to get to know a little bit about you. And so if you could just start by just telling us about your band experience growing up, and where you grew up.
Yeah. So I grew up in Arlington, Texas, and my mom and dad were sort of the first ones to introduce me to music. My dad was a hip hop producer in the 1980s who met my mom, was a gospel singer from West Virginia. And so they had me in West Virginia and moved to Texas. And so Texas is basically where I grew up. And I was very interested in band and in choir. So I did choir in elementary school. And then in joining the band, I wanted to be a saxophonist. But we ended up having too many saxophones. And so they ended up putting me on this instrument that was called a euphonium. And I still, like, when I was a sixth grader, I had no idea what that instrument was, but I really began to fall in love with the instrument. And then after that, I just played that in band all through high school, later learning tuba as well. And so I came into TCU for my undergraduate as a tuba euphonium performance major. And so during this time, I was also working as a gospel jazz piano player on the weekends. So like while I was in school, I was playing in band, and then on the weekends, I was playing in a whole nother band that was very different. And so that experience is, or both of those experiences happening at the same time, I think really helped me to figure out who I am as a musician and as a composer. And so That's just initially how I got into band, and how that's kind of led me through undergrad to now. So
Okay, and so the students in the band that you wrote this piece for, that you were going to get to hear in just a moment, they're could be as young as seventh grade and as old as ninth grade. If we could get in a little
mhm.
time machine and go back and find seventh to ninth grade you, what was going on with you, and what were your likes and dislikes in band and experiences at that time?
I was loving it. I mean, during that time, we were playing all sorts of music, and we would have different clinicians during that time. And so I know right before that time is around when I got to meet my first composer, and that composer was William Owens. He was the one who clinicianed one of the groups I played in, and William Owens is a composer who like really inspired me as a kid, because not only did he write his music, but he conducted his own music, and then he played the saxophone with us and things like that. And so that first experience, I think, really helped to get some things kind of happening in here to say, oh man, I can maybe do this too one day, like, or I want to be like him in a lot of ways. And so that experience, and then once I got into high school, of course, marching band, I was in love with marching band. I wanted to cheer on the team and to do these cool shows and things like that. So that also was really exciting to get to march in a Texas high school group and to get to kind of go through all that stuff.
Do you recall at what age you first began composing?
So I started composing, I guess, classical music in when I was, well, it was around 2012, which I believe at that point I was, Lord, probably 15, 14 or 15 in that time. I started really creating music. The first time I created music was actually through learning how to write music through my dad, who was a producer. So he would have me write tracks, and he would teach me about melody and groove and beat and different harmonies that go with that. And so that was my initial moment to learn how to create music. So I wrote a lot of tracks. And then once I got into band and I started playing the music of like Frank Kelly, John Mackey, Robert Sheldon, all of that music, then I started to get more into classical music, and eventually I wrote my first piece when it was my freshman year in high school, actually writing pen and paper, like my first composition. And so since then, I've written close to 175 compositions that kind of go all over different genres of instrumentation.
That's interesting. And so you went into your undergrad, and that was like a 4-year program, and then you're currently in your graduate work right now, correct?
Yes, I'm in the last year of my master's in composition at the University of Georgia.
Great. And so going to the piece that we're about to hear, I reached out to you about Summit, and I was curious if you could talk a little bit just about how the process of composing Summit worked for you.
Yeah, so Summit was a piece that actually took a while to figure out what kind of sound and what kind of thing I wanted to do with it. I don't write a whole lot of young band music. Most of the music that I've done over the last few years has been between the grade 4 to 6 range. So writing for young band, when it has happened, it's been on very few occasions. And so with this piece, I wanted to really make sure that I get it right and try to figure out how to go about it. So it started with a melody that just took a little bit of time to get through, and then there's this groove aspect to it that sounds very driving. And so this whole time it's sort of creating this mental picture for me of like, we're moving, we're going up this mountain, there was this motion to it. And so I guess that's what helped me to get things going, but it took a while to break through the ideas and the counter melodic ideas that would go with that. But all in all, I had a blast writing the piece, and it has a little bit of this sort of hip hop-esque groove to it, and it's very driving and very moving. So it just took a little bit of time to figure out how to get the melody for this piece, because I had other pieces in my head, and I was like, no, I can't write that piece. That piece has already been done by someone else. And then so sometimes as a composer, you have to just it's reworking through all these ideas and trying to it's really trial by error a lot of the times. It's like, okay, this worked, well, I thought maybe this worked, and then I was like, no, it didn't work. And so until I got the right idea, and then I was like, okay, that's the one, and then the whole piece just kind of came after that.
Now, you've not heard the piece played by a band yet, correct?
I have not, and I'm excited. I'm very excited.
And as you think about the piece and you've finished it and gotten it to us, and bandmasters wanted to do this project to give a gift to the whole state by a young composer such as yourself. And what are you most excited about the piece? What, looking back at writing it, what's your favorite thing about it, or thing you're looking forward to hearing most?
I think it's just there isn't a particular part. It's more so just like hearing your piece, like going from a computer to live people is always a treat, because I'll hear things in hearing people play it that I didn't hear like whenever the MIDI is playing, and I'm just like, wait, that's in there. And so there's always different surprises that come with hearing people play it. So I'm just excited to hear it, to hear it with live players, and I know y'all did a wonderful job on it. So yeah, I just can't wait.
Well, that's great. Last question for you. You're in your young 20s, and you've been through a portion of your education and growing up in band. And do you have any advice for these students, as these students are all at the beginning of high school or almost to high school, looking to that experience and then looking at college and all those fun things?
Yeah, so for anyone sort of moving into the high school years of everything, those were some of the best times musically for me, when I was just kind of enjoying what was happening, enjoying getting to march and then getting to play in concert groups, and then just being exposed to a variety of music that I never would have thought that I would have gotten exposed to. So that was a wonderful time in my life, to sort of get to witness all sorts of music. So my advice to people who are just getting into high school, just enjoy that moment, and just make as many friends as you can, listen to as much music as you can, because it's really a fun time. I being able to march and then play, and then also since I was interested in composition, my director used to let me like write small pieces for the band to read and things like that. So like that was really a time for me to really formulate who I am as a musician, and to begin to grow into sort of my voice as a composer. So just enjoy the moment.
Well, we appreciate all you've done, and as on behalf of all the band directors in Indiana and students, it's been a pleasure getting to work with you, and we know we'll see more of your work, and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate y'all once again.